Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Presmal, and today we're back with more UnderMine 2. Now, what we're doing today, I'm going to be trying out doing an Inquisitor Dante run. Been trying to do other runs and stuff like that in between, but having no fun luck. So I'm just going to pick something randomly. I do not care what it is. We're going to take it with us, and then we are going to move on. Main thing is just get all these unlocks done, and then, you know, we're all good to the goose and stuff. Yeah, I have to apologize to some of you, not like in the sense of like I did something wrong, but more the fact there's probably some confusion with my upload schedules and stuff, because over here in the UK, I have gone through daylight savings, which is not as good as you'd think it would be. Essentially, for one night on one evening over the weekend, I managed to get an extra bit of sleep. Exactly 1 hour to be in fact, which now is obviously pushed back a lot of my upload schedule by an hour. So, if you're in a country that doesn't have daylight savings, that is why my upload schedule is slightly different. And if you're a country that has daylight savings, then you may or may not have noticed any different. It's one of the most unusual things, I think, when it comes down to like what a country decides to do, right, is daylight savings in general. Because I'm always like, well, why do we do it, kind of thing, right? Electrified orb or shrapnel bombs. I don't care about either of those. Let's try and reroll. What else do we get? It's actually, this isn't bad. If I get something that gives me, like, infinite potions as well, that'd be kind of cool. Magic powder, I think, can unlock some cool stuff also. Let's take this. I feel like I can get more value out of that with, like, potions and permanent stats and stuff. Put a bomb there. Let's go down here. We got a key. Nice. We've got lots of bombs as well, so. Yeah, but other than that, I'm doing alright, you know, keeping myself busy. Hope you are all too as well. I'm just kind of like in the chill out section at the moment, where I feel like I've got some stuff to do, got some family events and stuff, which we're going to have fun with those also. And then, yeah, with any luck, it's going to be kind of a nice weekend. Don't have any other plans other than that. Some other family problems and stuff sorted themselves out, which is kind of cool and nice, or there's no sort of worry there, because, you know, I'm kind of, I can be very protective over my family if I think there's some issues going on. And sometimes not for the better either. Not in a bad way, just like, you know, I don't want to see people I care about be hurt, right? I don't want to see anyone I care about be hurt, but sometimes you don't really get that option. It's the same old thing where it's like you kind of got to let people make their own mistakes scenario, right? This random bat is staying over that portal to avoid all the stuff I want to do to it. There we go. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued on... oh, come on, really? There we go, you're down now. Nice. Whip it good. But yeah, I'm kind of on the, healing. Thank you. On the fence about certain stuff at the moment, like what I'm looking forward to and things. Like, I think we got the intelligence is what we want. I don't want to period. Dropping fire is fine. We'll just deal with that. Yes, we got the Outer Worlds 2 coming, which is going to be interesting. Kind of wanted that chest, but I really wasn't too sure how I'd get it. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that, like what's that gonna be like as well. So that's kind of interesting. And then on top of that as well, then we've got just random other stuff to have a look at. Recover an additional 50 mana when you recover mana. Destroy a follower and give the stats to your highest health follower. Look at the bones. I probably should buy the key, but I want to lock that in, Arcane Repeater. Because if I can get some interesting mana stuff, that'd be kind of cool. Right? Because stuff that was like saves like 25% of my mana or stuff will then save an extra 50% of it, so I basically save 37.5. You know. Be kind of cool. Now, let's see. Can we get some cool potions and stuff? What do we got in here? Max health and max mana of all allies. That's kind of interesting. Not that it'll actually do anything immediately. Other than that, I guess, yeah, I'm just really chilling. Just really chilling. The problem is at the moment I've noticed, I'm not sure how now it kind of like suffers with this as well. Whenever it gets like starts to get cold weather and stuff, my throat seems to just dry out like way more. I have no idea why, but it just does, and it's very frustrating to deal with. Like every morning I wake up and I feel like I swallow a cheese grater, you know? I don't know if other people suffer with this as well, or if it's just me. I mean, other people probably do. Like, normally if one person suffers from it, there's still like about like, what, 7 billion people on the planet, so... Even a 1 in a million means that there's quite a lot of number of people out there that'll suffer the same thing. I ain't gonna do the math. Why would I do the math? I also think it's funny that, actually, I don't know really what I want. I guess we could just take this. This is more... The branch is always generalized. It's kind of nice to have it. So, let's move on. It's also the funny thing is, like, whenever I tend to relax around games, I tend to play worse. And I've mentioned this, like, before with other things, and it's just kind of funny. And the reason for that is, like I explained to friends and stuff as well, like, when I play games, I play for fun, right? I'm not playing, like, seriously or anything else as well. I just literally am playing because I enjoy games and it's fun. Let's do it once again. Get my intelligence up as much as possible. But also alongside that, you then get the, Oh, really? You get people that think that I should always be, like, dead serious and everything else, or playing games and relaxing, but then it's like, that's not how I have fun, that's not how I also get myself into ridiculous, spots where people think, like, how on earth did you even win that? Or how did you even do that? Like, my god, that was such an amazing thing. And it's like, yeah, because I did something stupid beforehand without, like, thinking about it. You know? Like, my job involves me kind of, like, concentrating and, like, kind of, like, figuring stuff out and problem solving. So I tend to just normally, we'll take that. Guiding Wind is really good. You now have Manx. So I tend to just switch off while I play games a little bit, you know? Stop that sort of logical part of my brain from doing anything and being like, yeah, we'll just deal with the consequences, you know? But I didn't go... Did I go to the shop? I have no idea. Ooh, this fight again. Ooh, he's got a new attack. Interesting. Very interesting. I do like it when they give stuff like new attack patterns and things, right? Just makes the game a little bit more interesting. Ooh. Ingenuity. Does he die to fire? Should do, right? Yeah, we go. A little bit worried there, a little bit worried. We'll just cook the food. And let's continue on. But yeah. Other than that, there are some more stuff I'm kind of like working on the side of everything else, you know. I'm not trying to, attune. Get rid of that for intelligence. Let's move on. Yeah, I'm just trying to, focus on things I want to do and stuff like that, and I'm also thinking kind of about this channel and stuff and kind of like what I want to continue doing and how I want to like just add stuff that I'm kind of playing and things, which is nice that you guys all like watching this stuff, you know, whether it's, you know, 200 of you that watch this one video or if it's where it's just 16 of you, I don't mind which, like, it's just kind of thing I do anyway, because that's the easiest way to be about stuff, is just be a bit more chill, right? So that's kind of nice, right? And the fact that I do have as many subscribers as I do is I'm grateful that for every single one of you that do enjoy these videos, right? There we go. You know, shameless, heartful self-plug. And the other thing is, like, I don't know, like, there are some things where I feel like, you know, it's just nice to have that sort of time to just relax and chill. And I think, like, we all kind of need that, especially with the world is today and everything else. And, like, I don't want to be, like, weird as humans, but we always seem to kind of, like, put our noses into business that sometimes just either doesn't concern us or is something that we can never really have or do anything about. Like, if I can have an impact on something, then yeah, I can voice my opinion, I can do something about it. But if I can't really have any impact, is there really point in me saying anything? It's just this kind of attitude where it's like, oh, you need to say this thing because of this thing. And I'm like, well, what can I do? I'm just one man. That sounds like the start of an action film. One man who gave no shits about anything. Must decide on whether he shall save the world. But what will win out? His apathy? Or his will to save others? But yeah, it's a point where I think, like, a lot of stuff is just, like, we try and overcomplicate it when there's no real need to. And in some cases, like, everyone has to have an opinion on something. You can't just be, like, kind of like, well, does it affect me? And then people look at you and go, well, no. I'm like, well, then why should I care? And you'll look like, you monster. I'm like... Nah, no one says that to me directly. But it's just that kind of thing. And then when I do have, like, an opinion on stuff that is affecting me, people are kind of like, well, what are you going to do about it? Like, nothing, but, like, it does affect me, so... I get upset by it, you know? They interfered with my life. Huh. Is that, like, acid or poison or something? That's kind of unique. I do like it when you see something new that you've never seen before. Now, whether that's in the game originally or it wasn't, and I've just now seen it now, no one knows, but... Well, other people will know. I won't know, because I don't pay attention. You know? Insert I can't read meme. Ooh, poison. Cannonball for the pierce and stuff and the caliber. That could be interesting. I don't need poison. I think poison's irrelevant for this build. Cannonball, though. We need Pierce. Caliber is kind of cool. Just means stuff will hit me easier, but I think we can get something better. There we go. The mediocre ring, and then what we need is the intelligence ring, and then we can be laughing. So let's keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, most of the time, like, everyone's always so hyped up on, like, one cause or another, and I'm just kind of like, people can be dumb and stupid. Yeah? Even at the best of times, people are dumb and stupid, and I always say, like, you know, sometimes the path to destruction is paved with good intentions, you know, the usual type of stuff. And basically all it is, like, basically people tend to make the mistakes while trying to do the right thing more than anything else, and that causes problems not just for them, but for everyone else around them as well. So just kind of like, you know, think about stuff logically more than anything else as well. We actually have a discussion on, with some friends about critical thinking, which is kind of interesting. Let's just increase my toughness, because that'll help out later. The reason we kind of had the discussion is we were talking about how we think AI is kind of like the modern day I'll Google it type thing, right? Oh, I'll just ask an AI to give me the answer and stuff. And we all know how bad Google's AI is at giving you correct information whenever you read the prompt off there, and we got really annoyed, like, the amount of people that just read the AI prompt and just be like, get the wrong information, right? And this is something where it's like, I had an interesting discussion on whether the fact that we believe that AI could theoretically fool every human on the planet, right? And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that matter, to be honest, on anyone's thoughts on that matter, on whether you believe an AI theoretically could eventually kind of fool every single human on the planet. Like, it'd be like the perfect thing, like make like the perfect video, the perfect level of interactions and stuff like that, to the point where a human being wouldn't be able to tell it was fake, essentially. Now, my response to that is, I don't think we'll ever get there. And my friend says, well, eventually it will do, because, you know, like, we're gonna just keep going and pushing forward with it, and AI keeps learning. And I'm like, yeah, but so do humans. Like, humans keep learning. And, like, so, like, just the learning algorithm fact isn't good enough to kind of, like, dictate that eventually AI would fool us. The other aspect is, like, the actual physical aspect of it, such as, like, there isn't a single person on this planet that would waste that level of money on an AI, because it wouldn't have any return on investment. Right? They're like, okay, yeah, I can see that. Like, we might get, like, 90% there, but, like, to get the extra 2%, it would be, like, way too much money. Probably more than the entire budget spent so far. Just get, like, an extra percentage, at which point there is no businessman on this planet that would go, yeah, that's a great investment of my money and time. So they just won't bother with it. Not saying that they won't try, but I'm just saying that, but they'll definitely waste a lot of money trying to make it work, as they have already, as we have already seen in most cases, right? It's not a unusual thing to watch us waste money in the pursuit of something that they think will make them more money later. And then it's just like the general stuff of, like, especially in the UK, sort of like our own personal information is just being stuck at the will of the government and whatever they want to do with it, which is an absolute bloody nightmare. Like, at least in America, like, most laws have to go through governing bodies to be implemented and be voted on by a bunch of people to put in place. Hence that, you know, people can, like, actually vote against these laws and stuff like that to a certain level and things. Like, I think it's a little more complicated than that, but in America, you tend to have more input on what laws get passed than we do in the UK. we just kind of have to accept whatever our government decides if they got a majority, because they'll just push through whatever they damn well please, regardless if it's against public opinion. And that's the bit that annoys me the most, right? Even if the public dislike what they're planning to do, we don't really get a choice in that matter. They just will do it anyway. And the only reason they'll turn around and put it to a vote is if they believe that there may be backlash or they can't make a proper decision without the support of the UK. But if they don't have the support, they won't put it to a vote. If they do have the support, they won't put it to a vote. So it's kind of like... they'll avoid doing it as much as possible, which is hilarious. And yes, we voters put these people in power. I know how stupid that sounds. It is the way that our government works currently. It's not great. Will it get better? Maybe. The problem is, like, as I always say with decision-making on long-term stuff, is when people feel oppressed, they turn to extremism. That's normally the way it ends up happening, which causes a revolution within particular societies. We can see it all over the place. When people feel like they're pushed to a corner, whether it is for a good or a bad reason, they make poor decisions. I have no keys. Why do I have no keys? It's very annoying. I mean, my build is pretty good anyway, like I don't need to worry about it. Still, I would like keys. So yeah, there is there's a lot of things that I think the world today just kind of like very frustrating to deal with, and we kind of just need to have our own space, really. At least it would be nice, right? There, we're done. I say you get bamps, you trivialize the second boss every single time. It's great. Either one of them as well. Well, let's go and get my my intelligence up again. We're gonna get that really high up, I think. Attune. Goodbye strength, you're not needed. Into intelligence. And then attune the ingenuity into intelligence. Thank you very much. We'll still keep the health, because health is pretty good. And the thing is, like, I talk very generically about, like, all sorts of stuff, or at least try to. Like, I try and look at the bigger picture and the bigger impact on things that may or may not happen, right? The AI thing with, like, if AI could fool humans, I just don't see it ever doing it, because I feel like there'll always be someone that can prove that it's AI generated and figure it out. And even if we do, we got the issue of, like, if you try and put human input into those sort of things, you won't... We'll buy that actually straight away. You won't get very good output for the information there, right? So what I mean is, if as you're trying to train an AI, you need to put human input into making a decision for it. It corrupts the data set. If you don't put human input into it, it's going to corrupt the data set, thus informing bias within the system itself, which, yeah, you either get the AI bias, whether it can't dictate what is correct and not correct, or you do give the bias and then you have a human bias within the machine that's causing that to happen that way, which... yeah, which is the worst set of biases. And then could you train both AI and get each AI to communicate with each other to try and get them to tell which one is more correct? You could do that. Don't know how well it would do and how long it would take, but that probably could come out with a really good output, but there's 2 sets of time investment into a 3rd set of time investment, so... yeah. Explain that to investors. And between that, like, AI, the only reason, like, AI is really kind of, like, picked off in most cases is this idea, the fact that at some point, like, a lot of administrative tasks could be done by a computer. Like, that's the whole thought process behind it. Right? Businesses could then basically run essentially by themselves, no issue. Fork. Yeah, why not, actually? Fractured Star seems great. So you get kind of like stuck in this position where people really, really want AI to work, and there's a huge amount of cost saving for it if it does work. But the issue is, it's like no one's really got it to function just yet, right? Which can be a bit of a downer, because everyone knows the one person to get it to work first, right? The one person that does get it to work is pretty much going to have a monopoly on it, because they're going to patent that, right? Whether it's an algorithm, whether it's a like a whole program, like the whole thing will just get kind of like caught up in some weird bureaucracy and things like that. Like, we got the whole patent law going on at the moment with Nintendo and Power World still. Like, that's still an ongoing problem. And it ain't gonna go away, because at this point Nintendo's kind of stuck in it for the long haul. Like, this is the hill Nintendo's gonna die on, in most cases, or not. You know. I mean, there is that too big to fail type scenario. They got fingers in so many different pies. Like, do you really think that's going to affect them in the long term? I did see the stuff with the new Pokemon game as well, and I was just like, why can we have so much good stuff, and yet this is what Game Freak come out with? Like, it's that kind of point where it's like, you can tell those people just generally do not care about what they produce anymore. And because of that, like, you can also tell that because they don't care, like, they just know they're coming in to collect their paycheck. Like, they're on autopilot. I also think it's a part of the skill compression that's happening with companies a bit that hasn't really helped that out either, right? Like, a lot of skilled labor and everything else that you'd normally have in those companies that would be sort of your backbone aren't being rewarded, so they've gone off and done other things and moved different places. So the people that used to, say, understand the game engine now don't understand still. We've seen it with a lot of companies where they had like an in-house game engine that they used to do all the stuff they did. But because then they got like new hires, stuff like that in, the old people left, no one has the time to train them to do that game engine, so they go for a more generic one, which in this case is exactly what's kind of happened, right? They all then jump on the bandwagon for the generic one, which is why so many games now are made with Unreal Engine 5, which is kind of a jack of all trades toolbox. Like, I would say it's not bad, but then because no one's got any sort of the troubleshooting skills, they don't know really how to optimize it that well. Yeah. Who would have thunk, right? If you don't train your own staff, you don't have good staff in the first place. It's also the thing that I've always got annoyed by, is the fact that, like, every company wants someone to have, like, 20 years worth of experience in a field that's only just existed for the past 2 years. Like, someone explain to me how that works. I know the whole ghost job stuff and things like that companies do, and I still stand by. I think that's absolutely awful. But at the same time, I'm kind of like companies must realize that if you just invest in people in your own workplace, you will probably get so much more back out of them, and you'll get happier people, so thus, you know, you're more likely to efficiently trim the fat of your own company, right? You'll get rid of the bloat when you don't need it, because training people will, and giving them options will quite quickly show you who can deal with it, right? So what I mean is, like, it's like teaching in a schoolroom, in a school, right? once you start realizing that you're trying to train someone on how to do something or how to understand something, if they don't understand it, it becomes very obvious they don't understand. At which point, as a company... Ooh, more fork. That sounds delightful. Let's pick that up. You can just kind of like obviously at school you got to show them how to invest in them and try and get them up to speed, but from a business standpoint, you can just drop those people instantly the moment you know that they're dead weight. And giving people options and actually getting other people to train them is a great way to spot that. And between that, it also causes people to be more motivated as well, right? Like, if people see that you're willing to invest in their skills and get them up to level and stuff, then they're going to think to themselves, well, actually, if they did it to me, they'll do it to other people. And if they did it to them, they'll do it to me. What they've got to do then is give people the incentive. And sometimes the incentive to work harder actually produces better results than everything else people do to try and get them to work harder, right? Like, so many companies, like, end up trying to spend so much on software and hardware and everything else as well to monitor performances, when a more easier solution for them would be to just, like, incentivize their workforce, which would probably be something, you know, very simple. You know, and actually give, like, decent enough benefits, but try to that telling to a CEO who earns way too much money. Also, I have to ask, like, for like company owners and stuff like that, and people that invested, like, that, you know, say probably own majority shares, why are you spending so much money on your CEOs? Like, okay, yeah, they might be, like, say, the face of the company and stuff like that, but I probably put money on it that if they didn't come into work for a day, like, nothing much would really change. Or is that me being rather petty and horrible about it? You know? Well. That was that. I just kind of find it silly, right? I nitpick on stuff all the time, and I just don't understand the logic behind it. I mean, I understand the logic behind it, but I just feel like I can't see the overall benefit. Now, that might be me being closed-minded. I completely can agree with that. But my question is, like, do I kind of have a point, though? Yeah, let's hit the Pyro Grimoire here, actually. That sounds delightful. Let's go face the boss. Small things, you know, small things. Let's buy this now. And use it. Didn't get much for the potions in the end, which is very disappointing. Very disappointing, to be honest. Okay, dude, let's go. Ooh, the Necronomicon you have. But yeah. I'm just on the side of, like, you know, really. You know, like, if I want a company to do well or stuff and you want to invest in it and stuff, I feel like, I could technically have farmed skulls in this guy. Interesting. Or at least until he ran out of mana. I feel like there are ways that you could get, like, far better results, right? Do we increase the fork here? There's a point on it. But I think intelligence is fine. There's probably a soft cap. I don't know what that is, so we'll mix and match. We'll mix and match. Let's carry on. Yeah, it's more the logic thing that I always find. The same with like the AI stuff. It's like as much as AIs learn, us as humans learn, and at some point there's kind of going to be like an arms race between AI and humans on just like who can tell who, like, you know, who's trying to control who at the time, kind of thing, you know. The problem is, like, if AI keeps feeding off itself, it's kind of the whole Ouroboros effect, where eventually it'll just keep eating its own tail until no one trusts it anyway, right? But we'll see. We'll see on that front. I'm on the mind that I just feel like it will crash and burn at a certain point, and then we'll just all be sat here being like, AI? You know. Because it is always the funny thing, right, is the fact that we tend to push stuff in the wrong direction just to kind of get, like, the output that we want most of the time, and it never really works. Guess got nothing here. You know, I mean, come on, like, there are so many different things that people thought would take off over the course of the time, and they've always been wrong. And most of the time, it's always been, like, businessmen that have been wrong. Right? Like people think, like, oh, this has been the next big thing, and then it's just, like, something completely random that was completely offset from everything else in the first place that no one ever saw coming. You know? I mean, even nowadays, like, the idea, like, cinema itself isn't actually really kind of anything to shout about. Because no one wants to spend, you know, like, 10 quid or, like, $80, like, you know, or, like, $20 to go and watch a film or whatever your regional equivalent is to most of that stuff. Shockwave when your attacks hit melee, don't care. Here's some ricochet, that seems great, we'll pick that up. Not that it really matters, but the ricochet is kind of nice, I guess. But yeah, I do wonder what people think sometimes. Like, if you want stuff to succeed, I'm kind of like, well, do normal stuff, right? Just yelling at a CEO. It's like, you want to succeed, stop being a tool. And they look at you kind of like, but why would I do that? Because everyone hates you. Well, I don't care about that. No. It's just kind of the whole point. There's no punishment for their people's actions and stuff, right? I guess that's like the main problem. Like, if there was actual repercussions to their actions, people would probably be a little bit different on the whole. You know, allowing certain CEOs free reign to go and spend their time with young women. It's so bad. The optics on it are terrible, even at the best of time. On myself, it's like, why even let yourself get put in that position in the first place? You know? Got no issue with someone having a, you know, fun and celebrating with, like, everything else as well, but yeah. Some of that stuff looks so weird, man. And the thing is, like, when the backlash happens and everything else as well, and they start seeing a drop in sales, like... I'm sorry, as an investor, like, my first reaction is like, so why are we allowing this nut job to do what he wants? Why is there no oversight on this? You know? And they'll be like, oh yeah, but, you know, we had a really bad quarter and stuff, so we laid off, like, 30,000 people. And that way we'll get the money back. But we're not getting rid of the guy that's causing the problems. Oh no, we're not doing that because, like, he needs to make sure that he gets his golden parachute and his bonuses and everything else as well, because otherwise he can't afford his cars. you know. But I'll destroy the lives of 30,000 people that have done nothing wrong and just did a very good job. Or my favorite one is the games companies that's like, oh yeah, we overbooked people on the budget of this game, so we're now firing you all now the game's been made because we don't need you to keep going, and we don't have any other projects to move you to because you guys just aren't skilled enough to do any other work. I'm sorry, game devs, like, I know you guys got a good bunch of skills and everything else as well, and you do get a bad rap for a lot of stuff, but the problem is your industry hasn't really helped you in the long run. And this is like why so many things go to like indie games and stuff like that now. It's just like, why would I care about something that I know that can't be changed? And then we all look at like the indie game market and go, yeah, to be honest, I know what I'm getting with these guys, you know? I think that's what it comes down to most of the time. It's just like, yeah, I know what I'm getting. What are you? A shockwave and your team recovers health or mana. Don't care. The poison cloud is interesting. I don't mind it. But battle standard for the charisma and stuff could be pretty good. So we'll take it. But yeah, I just find it kind of funny and laughable more than anything else as well. It's just like they just won't allow you know, like they won't allow their buddy to go away, so they kind of like got to destroy an entire company to keep them around. And and some reason, like, so many people seem out of touch with like the actual audience they're trying to appeal to, right? Like that's the other bit that I don't understand. Yeah, it's like you got. It's like if a clothing brand, right? Like a clothing brand that was designing clothes for women took their advice for women's clothing from a 74-year-old man who's pretty much probably never interacted with a single woman of the age range that they are discussing. Right? It's just like, I wouldn't trust that dude. Like, he doesn't know what his target market is. Or my favorite is budgeting. I don't know what people do with the budgeting sometimes, but all I can say is they clearly don't do math. Right? Like the overall drop in sales, the decrease into the economic value of everything else, the inflation rates and stuff when people are losing money, and then you wonder why your sales drop by the similar value of the differences between inflation and people getting pay rises. It's just kind of hilarious. Well, our sales dropped like 4%. Well, we only gave people like a 3% pay rise, but inflation went up by 7%. Yeah, it's a mystery. Ah, sorry, I'm being petty on that one. That's a mystery. Who knew? Ooh, I might actually die here. Luckily I survived. Man, that healing tome was actually pretty good. That was pretty good. Saved me quite a lot of trouble there. Can I blow these up? That's my question. No. Let's rather try. You never know. Sometimes like Easter eggs like that get hidden behind the scenes and stuff, so. Let's attune. You can go. Intelligence. Attune again. Strength into some fork. And let's carry on. I know I'm moaning a lot. I know I am moaning a lot. I'm just on that phase of just like, it's rather pathetic that people kind of just end up being in their own worlds, making decisions that affect other people's lives with like no actual data or input to kind of support that whatsoever. And cherry picking data is always my pet peeve as well. Like, as someone that does mainly data analytics and stuff, and I can kind of show you how you can manipulate data to pretty much say whatever you want. It's very obvious when people do it. Even Joe Public now knows exactly what they're doing when they cherry pick data from very specific subsets of things, you know? As I always say to a lot of people, at no point does anyone turn around and do an investigational study with only 1,873 people. You know? At no point is that specific. But you may have got the sample of data that you wanted from those particular 1,874 people. Or my favorite is percentages of percentages, you know. We had a 300% increase on last year's profit increase. You know? That sounds really good. Yeah, from last year we had a 1% increase in profits, and this year we got a 3% increase in profits. So there's a 300% increase in profits on the profits from last year. People are looking like, what? Let's say bottled lightning. A good old classic. I keep doing that. I don't actually need to do any more on this floor. We're pretty much done. So yeah, let's carry on. Straight down we go. Let me get this done, run a little bit early. Maybe we should speed run one of these runs one time. See how fast we can complete it without actually like losing everything. Be kind of interesting. I kind of would like just to get like the full game out now though. I've been saying this before, though, so... Yeah, I'm still playing, you know. Oh, delightful dewdrop. What is it at the moment? 54. Man, could I get 3 fireballs? That would be hilarious for a finish. I would like that. I'm a full-on pyromancer anyway, so... Oop. Might as well pick you up. I mean, I can use my fireballs 100 times, so, I think I probably got the next, boss in the bag. Increase intelligence of the party. Wow. How am I on? 57. Well, I will actually pick that up. Using the fight, I'll have 3 fireballs to the fight pretty much, right? But yeah. It's always the silly stuff, right? Like, I swear sometimes the smartest men in the world are the ones that are, like, more... that aren't as smart as the, like, normal people. Right? It's that point where sometimes you're just being too clever. I've never heard those words, but apparently it's a good thing. It is just kind of hilarious. Like, there's so much just drama and everything else going on that it's just kind of laughable, really, more than anything else, right? Everyone stresses and worries. Everyone wants to be popular with everyone else as well. I'm just like, eh. Either like me or you don't, you know. The equivalent to Marmite, pretty much. I don't even like Marmite. It's like, I don't know why you guys like me. Even I don't like me. The good old British self-loathing, eh? Gotta love it. So if you can't take the mick out of yourself, how can you take the mick out of anyone else? Mick being the word for a joke. Man, I would love to have had that earlier. Would have loved to have that earlier. Anyway, we'll carry on. I guess we're just done here. Let's do this fight. We shall drink this potion. I forgot how to drink potions. Hilarious. There we go. I thought I died there. I cast Fireball. Oh, that was fun. Well, that is a run. Finally we got another win back on the board, because, you know, I was feeling a little bit the same, but I want the Ascension stuff and everything else to go on with this, because just need to get a little bit more out of the game. And maybe we'll start like a new run and stuff like that as well if we do that when it comes out. But yeah. That is it. So again, thank you again for joining me on our UnderMine 2 journeys. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.